Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Pillars of Eternity 2. This is Girl RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that it chose to join me today here with Seraphin, as I asked him a few questions about our newest objective. Last episode, we got a new team member. He's a witch or something. He's basically a Cypher and a Barbarian, so that's an interesting combination, because I already have a Cypher. We'll see how that goes, because we still haven't leveled them up, but we have to hunt down Mr. Benweth, the guy that basically, well, he wasn't responsible for the crashing of our ship, but he was responsible for the boarding of my ship at the beginning of the game. And he's in my list. He's the second in my list. The first one is Bereth. That's right, Bereth, I know you're hearing. It's a terrible, terrible god. Yeah, we'll kill them both, or thrice. How do you say, what's the word for, is there a word for three that is not both? You know what I mean? Because Bereth is two. Anyway. So you mentioned you have contacts at the fort. That's a fort, what was the name? The fort, not Fort Maget, because that's the newest best thing, but the fort that we need to take over. The fort, what was it called? Deadfire. Deadfire. Yeah, that's right. Can we rely on their help? I suppose on the contacts as help?
I did say contacts, didn't I?
He rubs the back of his head as he takes a sudden studious interest on his boots.
Contact would be more accurate, in the singular. A lass by the name of Siri. Been running the same circles for years, doldrums and fair winds. We're never family, but never on the wrong ends of arms, neither. Might have shaken the sheets a few months back. Regardless of how she feels about me, there's no love lost betwixt her and Benwith, that's for damn certain.
We can exploit that, I suppose. So you're contacting some random lover of yours.
Ugh, random? What do you take me for, Captain?
Well, I didn't mean to imply anything. The Scourge of Hearts throughout the Deadfire. I suppose that's not necessarily a wrong thing.
Well, I can't say as you're entirely wrong.
I suppose, yeah. So, let's go over the plan to get into Fort Deadlight.
Deadlight's a tough coconut to crack. But if not cracking, what are nuts for?
What? Sure, we should sneak our way in.
Might be there's a way to sneak inside. Bet we can find a shady spot to tie up a skiff under the veil of night. Then up the walls and over, quick as you please. Sussing out a place to land without being spotted ourselves require Helia's own eyes. Or a spyglass. You've got a spyglass, I hope?
Don't you?
Yeah, sure, used to. Then I made the mistake of lending it to Ferrante.
Oh, crap.
Apparently forgot it weren't his.
A loud growl builds beneath his grumbling.
Showed him the S I carved into it and he turned around and told me it stood for spyglass.
Oh my god.
There's an important lesson to be learned there.
There is, yes.
You take something to see, you hold grip on it real tight.
Yeah, well, I don't have a spyglass.
Oh, then let me recommend you remedy yourself there, Captain. A good spyglass, be like a good lover. Shows you the bits you'd have missed otherwise.
Okay, so we have a plan. Let's discuss it. Well, let's get on with it, I suppose.
Aye, Captain. Looking forward to watching you work.
So I still need to talk to him.
Not to be telling you your business, Cap, but if we don't set sail for Deadlight, Benweth will finish his repairs and pull anchor.
Oh, wait a minute. We need to go there now? Okay, what can you tell me about Fort Deadlight? Let's see. He said this already. Just muted him, so we can look over what I'm looking at. So do you have a plan in mind to get us into the fort?
Oh, you be asking me for a plan. Frankly, I were curious to witness how the famed Watcher of Cad Nua would penetrate the impenetrable. But since you asked, just give me a tick. Vast, I might have pulled a plan out of this hairy blue ass after all. Way I see it, we have an option or two ranging from the wildly dangerous to the fantastically suicidal.
That's not a plan.
So tell you me, Cap, what be your preferred approach to problems unapproachable?
Yeah. But that's a different approach to the making of the plan, so I like that. I simply outsmart my adversaries.
Smart play for crashing any party involves scavenging yourself up an invite, and then dressing to impress.
So Fort Deadlight sends out invitations?
No, Captain, they do not.
That's not what he meant, I know not, but...
Looking the part in this case means hoisting colours identifying us as Principe.
Oh.
Don't have to tell you how dangerous such a bit of fabric can be if the wrong person catches you flying it.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good plan, but that's not something I could have come up with myself. So it's not a different approach. It's an actual different set of plans that we can have. I suppose we could attack a Principe ship and capture their flag. The fun of attacking one of their ships is gonna outweigh the danger of us getting caught with the flag.
Swapping cannonballs with my fellow Principe ain't my favorite idea you've ever had. But do what you have to do, Captain. Might be tricky to not damage the flag in battle, or sink the ship on accident.
Well, you're confident about our chances here. Yeah, I want to talk something else.
I'm all ears, Captain.
Let's speak of this later.
Later, sure. No hurry here to ship off back to the Gentleman of Leisure.
I suppose Gentleman of Leisure is the name of the ship of the other guy, the Ferranti or whatever had, because he referred to it before, and I didn't know what that meant. I thought it was the actual, you know, the guy. Hey, Irena, how's it going? Need something, Captain? She asks. Shodi.
Ship life sure is an adventure, ain't it? Just think of all the places we can sail to, all the sights we could see. This is nothing like being stuck on a farm, or cloistered in the back of a temple.
She wraps her sickle against her thigh as she studies the boat's layout. Satisfied by whatever she sees, she tilts her head to you with a small smile.
Tell me what's on your mind?
How are you feeling? Have you suffered any recent nightmares?
They're there in my head when I sleep. And sometimes I can taste them on the back of my tongue like a smear of grit. I'm glad we talked.
Yeah, I think she said that before. Hey, Eld Engrim. Oh, the old drunk. Yeah, the mariner salutes me. Hey, Aleph.
Thank you again for maintaining my story in front of Vanessa and the others.
Yeah, no problem. He gives you a grateful smile that fades almost as quickly as it appears.
I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative.
What is skullduggery? I don't know what that is. Oh, maybe it's just being deceiving. And she puffs out a heated breath. Is she not? Does she not like that? Now, I am lost here. I don't really... I didn't get the impression that he was involved with the Leaden Key. I didn't get the impression that any of those people were involved with the Leaden Key. At least I don't remember that. But apparently that's what it was. That's what that conversation was. I'm going to go with this line over here. Simpler than explaining your involvement with the Leaden Key? Absolutely. Because you're going to explain it to me now.
I hoped you'd understand.
Shodi's eyes narrow, dark lashes fusing.
Believe me, I take no pleasure in duplicity.
What exactly were you doing out there?
After we parted, I set out to destroy the Leaden Key.
Yeah, okay, so we got the right Aloth. The game didn't bug out, because this is definitely the Aloth that we got, that we brought in from the first game. Because he was actually trying to work with the Leaden Key when we met him, and then he, through our actions, he sees... I didn't actually get him to end the game with us, because he has a specific ending at the end. But basically, I did get him to just sort of turn around and just kind of like animancy, which the Leaden Key very much opposes. It opposes animancy. I'm not really sure why, but it's just more of a means to their ends rather than anything else, really.
It's controlled us for too long. I wanted to free Kith from it. So for 5 years, I've been tracking down Leaden Key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret. Trying to undo them.
And how has that been going?
The task has been more difficult than I anticipated.
How? No, I'm gonna listen. If I can listen, then it's just always better. There's no reason for me to interrupt.
I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would have to make. Or the burden of living with them. It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. My father's, Theos's, yours.
I suppose, what do you mean?
After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of undoing his work would be tracking down the Leaden Key's members and operations.
he didn't burn the ropes in my book, in my game. But so he didn't fight with me. But that's more or less what he does. I think he asks me. I think in the end he asks me to destroy his soul, which I believe is what I did. I definitely didn't return it. Didn't return it to the will. I think I destroyed it. So the kind of probably that's where it comes from. But
Perhaps this would be easier with an example.
sure.
I went to a village in Old Valia. A run-down backwater of a place. Aye, right home like it was.
Oh, Isilmir, welcome back. Elf's expression shifts as she shows up.
Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some heretical cult. The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting. A gruesome, pointless tradition.
Just to contextualize, Isilmir is this. He's awakened. His soul is awakened, so he remembers parts of his previous lives. And Isilmir is one of his previous lives, of his soul. And she has a very different personality. It's very, very different. They're kind of antagonistic to each other, but or antagonic to each other. I don't sort of. Yeah. Theses and antitheses, I suppose. Is that what it is? I don't know. But yeah, so they're yeah. Anyway.
At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt.
What did you do?
The village priest administered the practice. Grim old fellow. Reminded me of Theos.
Reminds me of the blood druids in Erglan Fath.
Wicked old bunbag, 'tis what the lad means.
He was a tyrant. I was certain that if the villagers were free of his influence, they'd be free from the bloodletting too. So I arranged for him to have an accident.
I don't think she likes. I don't think she likes that. She likes not being honest and stuff. Clever, huh? That seems like one of Theos's dirty tricks. I'd expect you to act with honor. Nah, I actually wouldn't. I wouldn't expect him to act with honor. I don't know if I set that example in the first game. I think I kind of did.
I did it for the right reasons. Not that this changed much.
Nah, yeah, it wouldn't change anyway.
The old man died, and the villagers were terrified. They were convinced his death was an ill omen. They blamed it, and every other mishap that befell them, on their lack of faith.
Oh, boy.
So they began bloodletting every week, turning on their neighbors for giving too little.
His lips twist as if the words themselves have a bitter taste. Yeah.
Instead of a handful dying each year, a few perished every week.
He's worked the edge of his sash into a tight knot. He clenches it between pale, rigid fingers. Well, he couldn't have known that would happen. It's not your fault. It really isn't your fault. If anything, it's the guy's fault, I guess, the guy that died.
I had to do something, didn't I?
Yeah, of course. It's just the game that screwed you. You can't expect, just can't expect the consequences of your actions to always match the intentions of your actions or behind your actions. He turns to you with wide, anguished eyes. He pauses again, untwisting the sash at his lap. And besides, I doomed the whole district of Defiance Bay to undeadry again because. Okay, so I since I started recording this series, I have seen an episode actually by Bumpy McSquigums. You should look him up, Bumpy McSquigums, if you're new to my channel, basically, because he does a few. Well, actually, I'm doing a series with him right now. But anyway, so yeah, I've watched his episode where he deals with a situation in Pillars of Eternity 1, and I was capable of seeing better what I do wrong. So there's this point in. I'm not going to spoil too much because there's no need to spoil anything more than the game already spoils. But there's this point in Pillars of Eternity where you go up against a tower or up on a tower. And there's this machine that is responsible for making everyone undead, and that's in the capital of the place. So it's like a fifth of town is just undead, and it's terrible. I say undead, but they're really not. It's not what it is. But I've explained it before. So what happens with that machine is that it's tricky to mess with, and in fact, there's somebody there that's actually trying to disable the machine and help everybody. What I do is I do indeed disable the machine. The problem is, I don't know if I rationalized it or not at the time where I played it on the Let's Play or on the Twitch playthrough that I did, but I did the same choice on both occasions, and it's a binary choice, but you can't really know what it is. So you have just learned to speaking within. I believe it just happens right before that happens. To knowing within it as the player, you as the player know that because of course you're very old soul and the previous lives were in within and you're awakened and all that sort of stuff. That's part of the whole main plot. So at the time you're just okay, I can read the instructions of the machine, and there's a button that says end, and the machine is on, and it's making everyone undead because the machine is on. That's how it goes. And there's two options. There's one to press the button that says end, and another one to overpower the machine, to just like crank it to the maximum. And because it's two choices in my view, I always saw that as a sort of good and evil choice. So not explicitly that. No, I don't think I ever said it like that. But it kind of in my mind kind of works like that. And I see an end button and I see another choice that is like cranking to the maximum. And I'm like, what? Am I going to turn these people all into even more undead? I'm going to turn the whole city into undead? Or what is it? What is going to happen? Because it's just a single district, not a full city that's undead. So I'm like, oh, it's end. It's the first one as well. So that's the one. Just click on it. And the machine, sure enough, just stops, and nobody else is undead. And fix it. You're the hero, and all the amazing things. Why I'm talking about this? Because it kind of is analogous to what Aleph went through, and kind of a lot of us can go through in our lives with choices that we make that either are innocent or are actively good intentioned, or well intentioned, I should say. In that case, I'm the best person to make a decision. In the case of the machine that makes everyone undead, nobody else knows how to speak in Within. There's this huge cult, the Latin Key, who's actively trying to make the machine murder, and they're terrible and awful. So I'm like, if I can't make the right choice, nobody else can. So the level of confidence that I have inherently there, at least according to my personality as me. Not as my character, but according to my personality, my level of confidence is through the roof, because I know I'm the best person. So whatever my decision is, I know nobody else is going to be able to blame me for not doing it right. I mean, they are, because I didn't do it right. Pressing end makes the machine be turned on again, because you don't actually destroy the Latin Key throughout Pillars of Eternity 1, as Aleph is saying, and at the end of the game, you're informed of that. So basically what happens is the Latin Key goes there again, because of course the police are terrible at their job, and they should have just rehabilitated the machine, the tower, and just made it a museum out of it, because that's what you do with old things. That's like 2,000 years old of a tower. But no, they just, the Latin Key went up there again and murdered everyone again, and they just, screw it. And they just left they transformed the district into a zoo of undead, basically, and they just left it to die. So yeah, that's definitely an unintended consequence, and definitely, I think, the only bad point that I remember anyway from my ending of the second playthrough of the one that I did on Twitch. So Aleph, it's fine. A lot of people died because of your actions.
I keep wondering what I might have done differently.
Oh, a lot of things.
Or how I could have known better.
No, you couldn't. How could you? I mean, maybe you could have if you had studied social interactions and had... Oh... Maybe if you had experience with a situation like this before. But now you do. Now you can do better. See how that works? Yeah, having experience usually means just having done bad things before, because that's how you learn. Exactly, look at that. Learning from mistakes like this is a good start.
I suppose so.
You have to say that.
I should get some rest.
Oh.
It's been a long day, and you've given me a lot to think about.
Oh, wait, you still haven't told me what the Animancers have to do with any of this.
Ah, that.
Huh.
I'm looking for an old Latin Key sect. I've found several references, but I want to be sure. Please, let me go over my notes again. Then I promise I'll tell you everything.
Okay, we'll talk more later then. Elf, can I talk to you more?
Yes?
I'd like your thoughts on my search for Elthus, or groin, or whatever.
One would hardly imagine that a colossus made of glowing Ardra could be so hard to find.
Indeed, but then again, he's walking for days and he doesn't move.
But then I suppose the gods wouldn't have chosen you if the task were easy.
What do you know about the Valiant Trading Company?
Well, they seem largely competent. I would feel better about that were they not run by profiteers and animancers.
He doesn't like animancers much, does he? He never really did like animancers in the first game, though. There's this, the end of his quest definitely gets him up against an animancer. Not in fisticuffs or anything, at least not in my playthroughs. But he shows that he doesn't trust them too much.
Governor Clario seemed honest and well-intentioned. So one wonders why he was stationed at such an out-of-the-way post.
He did not. No one wonders. One wonders not that. No. It didn't seem honest, and well-intentioned, I suppose. I mean, he wasn't. Yeah, I suppose. And I guess the honesty can mean many things. Because are you honest, Aloth? You're not. You're clever. You're deceptive. So yeah. Do you have any thoughts on the Principe?
I'd heard Deadfire had a pirate problem, but I had no idea how large it was. Or how fashionable.
You get the sense he's impressed, despite himself.
Still, the only thing more dangerous than a unified pirate nation is one at war with itself. I worry about who will be caught in their crossfire.
Did you ever make it back to Adir?
As a matter of fact, I did. I saw my mother for the first time in years.
Oh, that's great. See, his family situation, he's from the old empire, from Adir. So that's the empire that broke off, or from which the Deerwood broke off, and the Valiant Republics as well, I think. No, wait a minute, Adir. I get always mixed up. Old Valia is one thing. Adir is the Adir Empire. No, it's not. It is the Adir. I think it is an empire. I don't know. But yeah, he has a very interesting family situation. Just to sum it up, basically, his mother is married twice, but not in the sense you think like that. It's not about polygamy or polygamy. So when I say married twice, that's an oversimplification. That is, I say it with intention. So basically, she married once for love, and another time they're not divorced, and another time for political influence. But that's just how they work, in the sense that they have a family and then they have a job, and the job itself is like a marriage, at least as far as I can understand. So that can be that can elicit some weird situations in regards to at least feelings, and that's what his father was going through. And his father was a jerk. Well, he was a criminal, really. Just a jerk doesn't make it justice, really. Insults hurled toward his father, and you'll be all right. But basically, his father got upset that his mother, who was very powerful, by the way, so she had kind of that going for her. But his mother, Alice's mother, was spending a lot of time in his other family, and so basically he never saw her much, and he remarks that a few times. So he has a very interesting family situation. I really enjoyed that notion and the way it is weaved into his character. If nothing else, Aloth has that going for him. His story before the first game is really interesting, and how that is weaved into his character is really interesting, and why he has the other aspect of his soul. Very, very interesting. How was your mother?
She was well. She'd been living with her Thane for quite some time.
Yeah.
I don't think she'd been to see my father since I left.
Well, yeah, because he beat her, and you. So, yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah. He fidgets with the hem of his garment, looking distractedly at something on the ground.
I used to blame her for her long absences. For not intervening directly with my father.
So what changed with your mother?
I realized that she was torn between two demanding roles. And two demanding men. I used to resent her for failing to protect me. But I understand now that her absence is what allowed me to grow. Intentionally or not, she gave me the space I needed to learn a degree of independence.
I think I said something to the extent of it was her responsibility to take care of you, and it was. But it is very much what I was saying. It is like his family upbringing is weaved into his character, and he's just reiterating. I didn't push on for him to reiterate more of what I just said. I'm happy for you.
Thank you. It felt good to resolve that much.
Did you see your father? He shakes his head, his lips pressed tightly together. Yeah, I knew that was gonna be bad.
It's one thing to forgive my mother for her absence. Quite another to excuse him.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like it was a good trip then.
It was.
Yeah. Did you ever make it back? Oh, I can, yeah. So, because I have other options, that's not gonna go away. How are all you up?
It's been a while since I've been able to speak candidly with anyone, especially about the leaden key.
Yeah.
It's unexpectedly liberating.
I suppose. Well, that's all, Alf. So, thank you very much. Let's see who else we have. We have Adair over there. Adair is the best. Adair is the best, but we are also out of time for the day, so we're gonna need to talk to the best next episode. For right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Pillars of Eternity 2. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment. This is a new item over here. Like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later, but above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.